In the last class, we learned about while loops and for loops. And to be honest, there are a lot of use cases that we can use while loops and for loops for. So today, the purpose of the class is just to do a lot of exercises with them and get more practice with both the while and the for loop. So what I did here was I kind of typed up what the slides have. And what I want you to do is kind of work with me and try to figure out how we would do these together. And feel free to pause the video, write the code yourself, and then unpause the video and see if you did it the same way. Now, let's say I wanted to print the square of all the numbers from 5 to 10. Let's do it with a while loop and a for loop. Okay, so with a while loop, okay, so let's do it with a while. We said the first question we ask is, what is the first number I want to do something for? And the first number I want to do something for is 5. So I can start my n with 5. When do I want to stop? I want to stop when I reach 10. So as long as n is less than or equal to 10, I'm going to continue. Well, what is it that I want to do with n? I want to print the square of it. So I want to print n to the power 2, and I'm just going to use the separator, end, so that we can see them all on one line. Okay, I did what I want to do. What is missing? The update. I need to update my variable. After I do it for n equals 5, I want to go to 6. So n plus equal 1. Okay, so again, this is my starting, my initialization. This is my test that will make me stop. And this is my update. Okay, so this is how I would write it with a while loop. Let's test it. It worked. 25, 6 squared, 7 squared, 8 squared, 9 squared, and 10 squared. Okay, what if I wanted to do it with a for loop? Okay, so for a for loop, I have to ask myself, what are the numbers? Well, what I could do is I can say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So that's one way I could do it. And again, I just want to print n squared, is the end, equals that. Okay, so that will also do it. Let's actually print here. After we're done, print a new line. And let's print a new line when we're done here also. Let's do it one more time. Ooh, I have a mistake. Here I used I, but here I used n. This should say I. Used the wrong variable. Let's try one more time. And I got the same answer. Could I have done it without listing them all? Yes, I could. I could have used the range. So I could have said for I in range, and I want to go up to, I want 5 numbers, and I need to start with 1 after because I don't want to include 0. So I'm going to say, I'm going to take I, add 1 to it, and then raise that to the power 2. Try that and see if that makes us print all the same answers, and it doesn't. Why doesn't it? Let's see. So here I plus 1. I don't see the mistake. Let's look at it together. So I'm printing here. I said I in the range of 5. So the first one is 0. 0 plus 1. Oh, here I want to start with 5, not 1. So that means I need to add 6. No, I need to add 5. No, I need to add 5. So 0, I want to make the 0 5. Let's try that. Okay, but now I need to make this one more. Because this is actually 6 values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So from 5 up to 10, there are 6 numbers, not 5. So I have to change that to a 6. So that gives me the same answer. Of course, it was a little harder. So maybe the for range with like start and end might have been easier. So let's try that. For I in range, what's the first number? 5. What's the last number? 10. I'm going to make it 11 because it always doesn't include the last one. And then I'm going to say print me I squared and put some spaces between them. Okay, so let's try this different way of doing it. and it gives me the same answer. So here we could have done the same, achieved the same result to print the numbers from 5 to 10 in different ways. Okay, now let's say I want to print the square of the numbers from starting to ending, and the user is going to decide. So here we're not asking the user, we're going to actually ask the user for my starting and ending number. Okay, well, the first thing is I need to ask the user. So let's go and ask them. I'm going to say start equal to int input, and it's a number. That's why I'm using the int function. Enter starting number. Okay, and let's go and make sure they enter the ending number. So enter ending number. Okay, and let's do it again with the while loop. What's my starting point? Well, I already have my starting point. So this is my starting point. Okay, so I already have the start. What's my ending point? End, but I have to have a test. So I'm going to say while start is less than or equal to end. So as long as my start is less than or equal to the ending number, I'm going to continue. What is it that I want to do? I want to print that variable. So print start to the power 2, and let's use the separator. Now after I print start to the power 2, what do I want to do to it? I want to add 1 to it. So start plus equal 1. Let's see if that works. So if they tell me 5 is my starting point and 10 is my ending point, I get the same answer. Now here what I did was I kind of used the start number and I was modifying it. So here I'm changing the start number. What I could have also done instead is I could have said I equal to start, and now I'm not changing the starting number. And here, because I'm introducing I would use I in my loop here. I would say while I is less than or equal to and I squared I plus equal 1. This will give me the same result. Okay, so here if they say the starting point is 5 and ending is 10, I get the same answer. What if I wanted to do it with a for loop? Okay, well, I can do it with a for loop. Here, instead of a while, I'm going to use a for loop. How would I do it with a for loop? I would have to say for some variable, let's say I, in, and I want to start with start. I'm going to go up to end, but I want to add 1 to end. And then I would just put the word range here. I want to print all the numbers in the range from starting up to the end plus 1. And so let's add our printing, I, and equal. So this will print the numbers in the range from start up to the end plus 1. So if I say 5 to 10, I got once with a while loop and once with the for loop. What if I want to print numbers backwards? Well, okay. What's the first number that you want to print? The first number is 10. When do you want to stop? I want to stop when it reaches 1. Now here, n is greater than 1 to start off with, so I'm going to use greater than or equal instead of less than or equal because my starting 10 is greater. And what do I want to do? I want to print n. Okay. And what is it that you want to do when after you print 10? I want to print 9. How do I go from 10 to 9? I subtract 1. So n minus equal 1. So let's try that. And let's just comment out the code up so that it doesn't keep printing all the stuff in the top. So let's go down here. This is where we are right now. So we're printing the numbers from 10 down to 1. And we got them. How about if I wanted to do it with a for loop? Well, we would do the same thing for I in range, but now I'm going backwards. What's the first number I want to print? 10. What's the last number I want to print? 1. So I have to go 1 beyond it. So I go to 0. My update is subtracting 1. So then here I can print now n. So I'm taking from 10 down to 1 in decrement. So I'm decrementing. I'm subtracting 1. Oh, and I forgot. This should say I. go back and run it again. Okay, so I got the same thing, the same result. Okay. So here, this is the for loop part, so let's move that down here.